Okay. Sorry. All right, so this video is just to go over the annotated bibliography. As we're coming to the end of the semester, you will need to make sure that all of your entries are compiled into one document. So this is the same document here that you've had all semester, but I did add a little bit in here as a reminder. So just like any works cited page or bibliography, your complete annotated bibliography needs to present the sources in alphabetical order by the author's last name. So if you haven't been doing that already, you've been submitting separate entries each week because that was easier to handle, which was perfectly fine. I think I told some of you specifically that that was fine to do. Now you need to compile them all into one document in alphabetical order. There's a sample from last summer's EN271 class. There's no identifying information on this document, so you can just look at that. You can see the formatting of everything so that the only thing aligned completely to the left is the author's last name, and then everything else is indented to the rest of the citation, and then the annotation is also indented in line with the second and whatever other lines of the citation. So this is all lined up. Notice that everything is double spaced and that there's not a huge space. This person did like to have a little extra space here, like one space between the citation and then the beginning of the annotation, which is fine. You will notice, though, that there's not a huge extra space between entries, that this being aligned to the left, this first word being aligned to the left is your signal that you're at a new entry, a new citation. So everything is just lined up in here. It's just goes on. You get the next entry until the end, and they are all in alphabetical order. So at the end, I believe is Phyllis Wheatley, maybe, if we ever get to the end. This is very long. And yeah, Phyllis Wheatley is the last author from last summer from EN271's reading alphabetically. It was actually one of the first authors we read. But in any case, that's how your completed annotated bibliography should look. If you decide to go in here and read any of this, just know that the annotation instructions were slightly different than your annotation instructions. So you'll see some things that might be a little different. And I think these are one paragraph longer than what you're required to do. So yours may come out a little bit shorter and you won't have quite as long annotations. Yeah. So make sure you do check out that sample. Each entry you need to begin with a complete MLA citation. If you're still wondering about that, there's documentation here. And don't forget that on the first, or a bunch of the weekly agendas, I had another document that I created just to walk you through how to cite everything from anthologies. So we've got several, like all of our readings really from an anthology. So how do we do that to make sure you follow those citation instructions? And then you have your 2 paragraphs, your summary paragraph and your reflection paragraph that you've been doing all along. And I've commented on those as you've been going. So I think that everyone has a handle on that by this point. So you just really need to finish up your last few entries and make sure everything gets put together in alphabetical order. Yeah, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. The final annotated bibliography is due on Tuesday. You get a little bit of extra time. You get to submit it on Tuesday, the 28th of April. So I'll be reading your final annotated bibliographies and watching your thematic anthology presentations on Wednesday and Thursday so that I can have final grades in ideally by the end of the day Thursday. If not, I'll have to finish them up early Friday morning of that week of April. So yeah, contact me if you have any questions. Otherwise, enjoy.